The evening didn't demand attention. There were no dramatic entrances or staged displays of affection. Only the gentle quiet of the city and the steady rhythm of two pairs of footsteps falling in sync without effort. David Licauco and Barbie Forteza weren't dressed to stand out, nor did they seek notice. Yet there was something undeniable about the quiet way they moved together. Sometimes, when two people are attuned to each other, they become impossible to overlook. Their wandering led them to a modest little spot tucked away on a side street, a place neither had planned to find. It wasn't elegant, no panoramic views, no carefully chosen soundtrack, just the clatter of cutlery, murmured conversations, and bursts of laughter from strangers nearby. Ordinary in every way, and yet it felt perfectly right, as if the night had guided them there deliberately. When he pulled out her chair, it wasn't from habit, but from genuine thoughtfulness. She caught his eye with that familiar look, one that said she didn't need the gesture, but liked that it came so naturally to him. Between them lingered a small pause, the kind that made the world slow for just a heartbeat. These silences had started to appear more often lately, like their time together had carved out its own rhythm, one they now understood without speaking. For once, they weren't caught in talk of scripts, schedules, or career obligations. The weight of cameras and industry chatter had no place at their table. Instead, their conversation wandered to the way morning light spilled across the floor, to her habit of filling notebooks, even though her phone was already overflowing with digital notes. He shared a dream he'd had, one that made no sense yet stayed vivid in his mind. She laughed, not at the dream itself, but at the tenderness of him remembering and sharing it. There was something effortless about how they leaned toward each other, unaware of the closeness until it simply was. His hand rested near hers, not quite touching, but close enough to remind her he was present. When she reached for her glass, their fingers brushed. Neither withdrew. His gaze settled on her, not with the practiced charm of someone trying to impress, but with the quiet awe of a man surprised and grateful that she was there, choosing to stay. Her smile, in return, wasn't meant for the room. It belonged only to him, soft around the edges, the kind that lingers because it rises from something real. The rest of the world faded away, leaving only the two of them at that small table. Time passed unnoticed. Long after the plates were cleared, her hand rested openly in his, while his thumb traced lazy circles against her skin. By then, they weren't flirting or testing boundaries. They were simply inside whatever this was, present, honest, and steady. When they finally rose to leave, no plans were spoken, no future mapped out. His hand found the small of her back with quiet certainty, and she leaned into him as they walked away. Whatever it was between them, it was no longer something they were pretending. It was simply theirs.